Hi, my name is Aris. I'm from Tera Hard Studios. I'm the director of a studio with 15 people. Two studios, one based in London, UK, and one in Athens, Greece. We've been working for almost 3 years now, and this is our first self-published title, Era. And at the moment it's on green light, so hopefully people are gonna like it and vote for us.
Okay, so can you explain to us what is Era?
Yeah. So our game is about it's a turn-based fighting game. You can choose from 30 different characters, teach them 10 different fighting styles. Each character has like one unique element out of 16 different ones. Now you can choose as the characters level up, they learn different moves. You can teach them like with the different fighting styles, which like staves, great swords, dual daggers, pistols. They learn a variety of different moves, and each move comes up with 7 different alternatives. So every game can have like a different strategy depending how people prefer to play their characters. You have a team of 6 characters which you can tag out during the battle. And the big thing about our game is that every choice that they make, like when they join a faction, it will actually be different and change the actual world of Era online and offline. Our game has PvP and PvE elements, and everything that people do will actually change the world. So let's say, for example, like you join the Fire faction and play and decide that you and your mates want to really destroy the Earth faction. Now the Earth faction, if they don't do anything, they might get destroyed. So the actual world for everyone is going to change, and they will be able to actually conquer your lands and go through, and invade your faction.
So where did you get the inspiration from for such this style of game?
So it was a work in progress, like the idea and the style. Originally we made an RPG game that was pixel art, but RPG games are tend to need quite a lot of development for almost 3 years minimum to make something properly. So we decided that we were going to change that, and we changed the scope, but we already had a very big world written down. So we had the world of Era. It was scoped out. Every faction had its own lore and the goddesses and the whole background of the story and the characters. So in the end we took what we liked and created a new game, which is basically the turn-based fighting part of that, to actually create the world of Era. Now the world is going to start from point A of the story, and then depending on players' actions, it's going to evolve whichever way actually the community is going to choose to.
You say that the community affects the storyline. Can you give us any other examples of how that would come about during normal play?
Yeah, so basically, let's say you join, as I say, the Fire Brotherhood, and all your quests are going to be based on your faction. So it's going to tell you, protect your faction against invaders. It's going to be other people from other factions try to invade your lands, and at the same time attack the opposing factions. The more you attack, the more different quests you get and different levels of quests. So your team can be from level 1 to level 100. So the more difficult quests you choose to do, the different the results are going to be, the different rewards. You get different recipes for craftable items. At the moment we have 100 different items that you can craft. As you level up, you raise ranks and reputation in your faction. The higher you get, the different recipes you get, and the different the results of your action going to actually count for the whole faction. We're hoping in the future, in one of our updates, to introduce people actually in the higher level of each faction to make active choices about where their faction wants to go. So let's say, do we want to invade this land, or do we want to remain passive? Because we really like the idea that you're not going to be either evil or good. You can also be neutral. So you can get always choose the right path for you and your faction.
We've also noticed that it's slightly different from your other games that you've released. How did you decide to start publishing for yourself?
Right, so we had another go for a self-publishing title. It's called Shaochun. It was an Apple, an iPad, and Android a game, which it was we really tried to actually see how self-publishing works. So we learned a lot from that. But we really are always, for myself and the guys in the company, they really want to do some more a fantasy world. So we decided that we had to go much bigger than just a simple game. So we tried to actually put down all the ideas that we had, and and we created the world of Era as it is now. And that was like the game that we really liked. We really like fantasy games and different fighting styles, like different weapons. I think it was a rational choice to actually go for a game like this, and especially like PC games like in Steam would really help us go to that role. Now, the addition, and actually from the experience that we got from all the other games, was that we can do like cross-platform ideas. So like the world of Era and all the online system that I talked about before is going to be cross-platform on iPad and Android as well when the game comes out. So everyone is going to be playing from different mediums, but the world's going to be the same, just like hopefully like in the real world.
Obviously there's going to be future expansions.
Yeah.
How big do you think the world is going to get for Era?
Well, it just depends on the community actually, because the game is designed to actually expand for as long as people basically play it, and the way they play it is going to reflect on the game. So there's not going to be something that you just make like one update and that's it. Every season it's going to have major updates, new characters, new lands, which everything is going to reflect what actually people do. So at the moment it's just endless. Like you can see on our website as well that we say like 16 elements, 30 different characters, 10 different fighting styles, and infinite eras. So yeah, infinite is going to be like the limit.
What have been the biggest challenges in development and design so far for Era?
So the biggest problem that we had was that every character can actually learn all different fighting styles. So that's like very difficult to actually, I don't think I've seen many games do that. So basically all the characters had to actually be of a certain way to actually compensate for that. And you can understand that like male characters have like wide shoulders and like thin hips, whereas like female characters have like wide hips and like thin shoulders. So that's like one of the biggest like problems for like games like this, for character animations, for all the characters to be able to do all the different moves for every different fighting style. So you can understand like that was the biggest difficulty of all time. And we have 30 different characters today. So hoping for 100 at some point.
At the moment it's pre-alpha. You mentioned it's on Greenlight. Can people still vote for it on Greenlight?
Yes. So yes, if you are on Greenlight, like have a look like for Era. If you like it, vote for us. We really like the feedback from the community. We're really hoping that people are going to like it. We had a very nice first day. Today is the second day in EGX. And let us know what you think.
Excellent. So once it's gone Greenlight, you're planning to go early access and then release, or will you wait until the game's finished before you release?
It's a good question. We don't know yet. We're just going to discuss with the community what they prefer. At the moment, we have, in our eyes, we have 3 months of development to go. If people really want to play it now, we've already like uploaded the EGX demo on IndieDB, so people can actually go online and find it. But after like green light, it's up to the community what they think like we're going to do.
All right then. So if people want to learn some more about Era, where can they go for the main source and social media?
So era-game.com is Era's website. We're on Twitter as well for our company Tera Hard Studios, and they can also find Era the game with underscores for its space on Twitter. We also have like a Reddit account. And hopefully on Twitch. We have accounts on every social media, Facebook as well. And follow us anywhere. Like we have accounts on every medium.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's been great to meet you, and we look forward to playing Era.